Hey guys, by popular demand, I guess I'm going to share with the world how I put LT heads on an LS block. Pretty simple and straightforward if you have some time on your hands to just tinker a bit. I'll start with the LT head right here. This is a brand new LT1 head I got off of gmpartsdirect.com. Comes with valves, springs, pretty well fully assembled. I think the set was just over $1,000, which is fantastic. Can't complain with that. First thing you need to know when bolting these directly on your LS block, the bolt pattern is exactly the same. You can just slap it on there and throw bolts in, no problem. The thing you have to deal with is the dowels on the LT head are on the top and on their LS on the bottom. So what I did was I just took a step bit, opened these up to accept the dowel, put the dowel in, top, bottom, and then I just took some old dowels I had laying around, stuffed them in the hole, cut them down so they fit just to take up that space, and that's it. Next thing I did was this hole right here. You can see it's not drilled all the way through. What I did was I just opened this hole right up and then made it a little bigger just to accept a couple 10mm bolts just to have something up top, because as you can see, there's no bolts on the top of this head, not like the LS. Next thing would be, after bolting them on, was to deal with the direct injection holes. So basically you can go to ictbillet.com and they sell you a little plate that bolts on these 4 holes, and you can just stick the stock injectors in there and then the plate will hold them down. The one issue I had was after running it for a few days, these injectors would blow out the back. So what I did was I just drilled out the plastic and the brass in there and filled it up with weld with a MIG welder, and that's it. Haven't had any issues since. So that's how to solve that issue. Next will be, after you get them bolted on, would probably be the camshaft, which you can get from Cam Motion. You call them, and if you're real nice to them, they will make one for you. It's a reverse pattern cam, so you have to tell them you want an LS cam with the lobes backwards. This is the one I built. I didn't go absolutely crazy just because I wanted some valve train stability. I was planning on spinning this thing over 7,000 RPM, so I only have 569 lift, intake and exhaust, and 236 duration on the intake and 248 duration on the exhaust. Nice little cam, goes good. I think it's 108 lobe separation, nice and choppy on idle. After that, once they're bolted on, you got your cam in, time to choose an intake. Basically on the market, there are 2 intakes with port injection. The Holley Hiram for LT1 has port injection. The BTR Trinity you can get with port injection, or you can go back and see ICT Billet, and they sell you these adapter plates. I have these kicking around from when I was running a carb on this setup. So basically, bolt on there, and then this was a LT1 to LS3 adapter, so you can get those for whatever you want. I think they make them for LS3, LS1, LS7, so you can actually bolt an LS7 intake to the adapter and then the adapter to the head. Fun times. Moving along from there, I'll show you guys the actual finished product. So these aren't LT1 heads, they are L83 heads, the smaller version that came off the 5.3 truck. I did the whole mock-up because I didn't want to scrap my LS7 project and find out none of this would actually work. So I got it working on a smaller scale first. Moving forward from here, you have to use these coils. Obviously, they're the only ones that bolt to the valve covers. These valve covers obviously are LT valve covers. You can't use LS valve covers. The exhaust manifold these are my original long tube headers from my LS. I cut them off, and then I ordered a set of LT flanges from, I think it was, what's the name of that place again? Stickers on the back. Motion Raceworks. You can call them up and get a set of LT exhaust flanges and then just weld on whatever exhaust you want, or buy some if you're willing to go that route. If you guys are using the truck accessories, I obviously don't have the car accessory, so I don't know how it would set up, but with the truck accessory, there's some raised aluminum on the back of this where the bolts go through. I had to grind them all flush so it would sit flush to the head, because the head comes out a little further than the LS head. But once you grind everything flush, it bolts right on, everything lines up. You can only fit 2 bolts. 2 bolts only line up, so that bolt down there next to the pulley and this one down here are the only 2 bolts that line up, so make sure to torque them in real good. Next would be I think that would be it, to be honest. I didn't really have any piston to valve clearance issues, just because I'm running stock LY6 pistons and I don't have a lot of lift. So I measured everything and I ended up not having any issues with that. Everything works good. Aside from that, I'm just running a standard Terminator X with this setup. Obviously, I had to change the I changed this over because I got these off, these L83 heads off an L83 motor that came with the coils, so they obviously run a different wiring harness. I just changed it back to my LS wiring harness. Didn't have any big issues with that. And yeah, that's about it. You guys have any questions or comments, feel free to get in touch with me, PM or leave comments in the section below. And that's it. Hope it was informative. Thanks.